Hello. I've walked all the dogs and everything's looking good. I'm going to get them in the Mister systems and check the mail and relax. Everything's cleaned up. All the dogs have been walked and fed and scooped, and now it's all about hanging out. This is our first segment of Fractured Furry Tails with Freya and Squatting Dog. And I'm going to tell you a story about a municipal shelter that several cities used, and the horrific conditions there, animals suffering, living in their own filth, staff that doesn't care, and then when they were caught, lying about it, and just, taking care of the paperwork and just basically ignoring every complaint that came down the pike. The people were complaining and wanting outrage. They were outraged at this shelter, and it was horrible. And how it started. I'm going to keep it to about 5 minutes. I'm going to cut it off, and then I'm going to pick back up tomorrow where we left off. But there was animals that broken, can't get up, living in their filth, and it was just horrible. And how it all started was a friend of mine called and said there was some horrible conditions at this local shelter after they had picked up a dog. And then she went over there. I told them, go over there. And then they went to get the dog or check on the dog that was there, and things were just so horrific. She called me up and says, oh my God, I was talking to one of the volunteers here, and it's just, there's animals that have broken limbs and, just can't get up, and they're living in their filth, and it's just, nobody's doing anything for them. And they're just leaving them there until it's time to kill them, and then they would kill them, when their 3 days hold was up. So that's the crux. This municipal shelter that several cities used had the most just this horrific time for the animals. It was just pure suffering, incompetence, and just ignorance, and just everything bad a person could say about an animal shelter happened. But during that time, at Save a Pet, we had cleaned up the Desert Hot Spring shelter, and it had the lowest euthanasia rate in the nation, 98% down to 12%. It got a lady just left a huge donation after we got it cleaned up, and there and at Save a Pet. And it was just a thing of beauty what we were doing north of Interstate 10 in the Coachella Valley. Now, if anything sounds similar, that's just purely coincidence. But this is what we did and how we cleaned it up. There was a white dog that needed to be trapped, and my friend Teresa, or not Teresa, but Christine Dura, called me up, and I told them to just call California Animal Care. They're the professionals that use that, and they go, once they get it, they can scan it if the microchips weren't really in vogue then. And but it was injured, so they got it. She did, and Daryl and them, they went over there and they trapped it, and got it there, and told Christine. She went over to the shelter, and it was just completely horrible. And she was talking to a lady, Teresa Large, that was a volunteer there for a while. And I told them, I said, she called me up, and I says, listen, go there 4 different times, whatever, not on the same day at the same time, like that idiot Christy Shore comes here at one morning when you can't even get done physically. And, that's what they can say. Oh, well, we're not done yet. Everything's bad. And well, it is. So they went 3 different times, 4 different times, and different days, and took videotapes. And then Christine got the tape, put it all together on a VHS. And I went over to her and Tyra's house, my 2 beautiful friends, and saw what was going on. And I went, oh my God. And I looked at it, I looked at the suffering, I looked at the filth, I looked at the incompetence, and just the things. I know this shit, and so I went public. I took tapes to all the cities, Indian Wells, Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, Cathedral City, and Palm Desert. I might be saying a couple. There's like 5 cities that used that shelter. And then I took it to the different TV stations and both the newspapers, and it went viral. And we started in, and I've exposed stuff here. Nothing. You're gonna hear the crickets chirping. But anyways, that's how that got started. It's about 5:30 mark, and I'll tell you what the cities did and how we created a $8 million animal campus, because the elected officials had vision and surfed the public outcry, and we made something beautiful together with the animal people that loved it, and they're just next thing you know, they're swimming in money and support, and it was all beautiful. Anyways, tomorrow we'll pick up where we left off about California Animal Care and the Coachella Valley Wide Animal Campus. Love for all. And please like, follow, and subscribe.